Extreme weather events caused by climate change are on the rise. When we're not prepared for these events, the consequences are more serious. Failures occur across interconnected infrastructure networks, meaning power cuts, loss of communication services, and running water. This can severely impact people's everyday lives. And this is only going to become more of a problem in the future as these events become more common and more extreme. Ensuring that infrastructure is resilient to these events is critical.
The climate change resilience of infrastructure networks is a challenge that is not yet well understood and is one we need to address urgently. Asset owners really need to know who are they dependent on. It's really crucial both for the integrity of the assets but also for the service you provide your customers. For example, a range of infrastructure providers. If one of them is affected, let's say, by flooding, and that maybe affects an electricity substation, and then that problem cascades to perhaps the water company that's using that electricity to run its plant and pump water, or perhaps the communications infrastructure that needs that electricity to run the communications network. Understanding these risks in advance and how we can mitigate them is key.
CReDo is really useful for Anglian Water to increase our understanding of infrastructure, interdependencies, and the future climatic impacts on our infrastructure. If you think about what's at the core of CReDo, and that's data. In reality, it's how we are sharing and using data with BT and UK power networks, and then actually integrating future climatic models and scenarios. So once you've got that data in a connected digital twin that CReDo provides, it means that then we can start to visualize this data and use asset failure models to look at how assets become impacted and how quickly and over what sort of time period.
We'll be looking at extreme flooding events that might happen now or might happen in the future. We can simulate these different events and we can understand how the sites are dependent on each other, how the overall network will respond to this flooding event, what the outages that might happen as sites are flooded, and how these failures from the flooding can then cascade through the network, through the system, and maybe affect areas that aren't directly affected by the flood. One of the next steps of CReDo is to expand to different extreme weather events. This could be extreme temperature, or it could be strong winds or droughts.
This will allow asset owners to use CReDo to see the effect of extreme weather events on the combined infrastructure network. And crucially, this will inform what interventions they can make to increase the system resilience.
This is really about planning for the future. So if we can really understand how our infrastructure is going to be impacted in 10, 20, 30 years' time, that means that the investments that we make and our partners make are in the right areas to protect our assets and ensure that we continue to provide that service to our customers.
CReDo allows BT to share information with other critical national infrastructure providers in a safe and secure way. It's a distributed architecture where we retain control over our data assets, but allow us to share those data aspects which enable others to better understand dependencies between different infrastructure.
CReDo has been designed so that it can be extensible to other asset owners, new sectors, wider geographical regions, and a range of extreme weather events. The wider benefits are actually, it improves overall resilience. The more participants there are, the more holistic the solution that we see, and a better understanding of that interaction between those wider network groups, increasing the benefits from using CReDo.
For CReDo to grow and scale into the future, we need to expand the number of asset owners that we work with. These might include transport, rail and roads, or other parts of the energy sector, such as gas. By having a broader coverage of asset owners, we'll get a better picture of the interdependencies throughout the country. For example, understanding how transport interplays with critical infrastructure and utilities. We'll get a systems level view of how operations might work.
Responding to climate change is not something that individual organisations can do. This is around collaboration, and collaboration around a connected digital twin is really important for how we operate our assets in the future. CReDo's data sharing successes and the interoperability technologies being developed in the system will enable us to integrate with other data ontologies in the future.
Infrastructure that's resilient to climate change and extreme weather is fundamental to the smooth running of the economy and of society, especially as we get ever more dependent on electricity and on data. I think we're making slow progress. We need to be making much faster progress, and we're keen to open up these solutions to everyone.
We're starting to develop economic models to form the basis of how we make future investment decisions. We can help the decision makers not only invest in the resilience of their own network, but invest together in the combined resilience of the overall network. And by doing this leads to better value for their customers and for society. We need help from government, regulators and policymakers to work together and create the mechanisms for this cross-sector investment.
Collaboration through connected digital twins is key to tackling climate change. Can you work with us to expand our network? To get involved, visit the Digital Twin Hub CReDo Taking Action page.